Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you enjoy your weekend, your holiday weekend this weekend. I am going to the Outer Banks to see my aunt and cousin. I'm going to go be in the sun. I'm very excited about that. I wanted to remind you that next week, next Friday, May 30th, is our last convocation of the school year. It is your last chance to practice before the recitals on June 7th. So the sign up will be on Monday. So we would love to have you for that. And we will make as many convocations that evening that we need. So if we have more than a certain amount, we will open up another time. So be watching for that email on Monday. Also, we have recitals June 7th at 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, and 8 at Keenan Recital Hall downtown. I am so excited about this. It's such a beautiful venue, and I cannot wait to see you all dressed up and ready to perform. It's going to be great. And it is free to everyone, so please come on out to see these students. They've worked all year. It's a culminating event, so excited about that. We also have our summer semester starting June 16th, and it goes all the way through August. And so, if you're interested in taking lessons this summer, we think of the summer as a good time to take lessons for two reasons. One, so that our students don't lose what they've gained from one semester than the next. And then the second reason is to come and dabble a little bit. It's a less commitment, it's a little bit more loosey goosey. The lessons are scheduled around your summer schedule. So if you wanted to take two lessons in a week and then skip a few weeks and then come back, you can do that. It's much more loosey goosey and a great introduction to instrument. We also have our chorus, our adult chorus that we're meeting on Thursdays in the summer. And we have a Pilates class that will be on Sundays. I still haven't figured out what time yet, but I'm thinking it's going to probably be in the afternoon or evening. So I will let you know. All right. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about the fact that this week has been really a tough week, I think, energetically. Just overall, I think it's been a tough week for a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people. I had a music teacher friend who her husband died this week, and we are so sorry for that family. And one of my good friends, her house was flooded this week with sewage. I have another colleague and his son had to go to the hospital. When he went to the hospital, there was a crazy wait. It's like everybody was at the hospital. Some people were waiting more than 12 hours and they were getting treated in the hallways and stuff. So there's definitely something going on in the mix. Another thing is that my sweet aunt, got diagnosed with cancer, and um, I had to watch my stepdad this week. He has Alzheimer's and he doesn't know he has it, and so it's really tough. It's really tough. There are things that he thinks he can do, but he can't do, and so it just it's tough to watch someone close, go downhill. And then I had a particularly tough week in EMDR this week. Still think it's great though. Still highly recommend it. Um, it's just it gets to the hard stuff. It's not easy. You're definitely taking a very active role when it comes to EMDR. The therapy doesn't just happen to you. You have to be actively involved and be willing to go to the places that maybe you haven't been willing to go to. So, yeah. And not to mention, I'm speaking a lot about my personal life and the people I know, but there's global unrest and economy's crazy and just all of that. So my question is to you, what do you do during these days when all this stuff is happening? What do you do? How do you deal with the feelings? You know, because something that I've learned as an adult is that there will be good days and there will be bad days. And there seems to be quite a few bad days this week, but it's a fact of life. So I will tell you what I used to do, and I sometimes still have tendencies to do now. I used to numb out, and that means stuffing my face. I'm a huge Indian food person, so I would go to Azitra, and Azitra is a really good Indian food place in Raleigh and go get chicken tikka masala and just like stuff my face with that, like really spicy and sweets and just like stuff my face. It was a way that I would cope for many, many years. I would watch TV and watch YouTube and watch Netflix and all of that so I could numb out so I don't have to think about anything. I big thing that I would do, and I don't know if you do this as well, but I would hide away. I would isolate myself a lot because who wants to be around someone who's going through stuff, right? So I would hide away. But then I also would try to think positively. I would try to use spirituality and my religion and manifestation and all the things to turn whatever I was thinking or feeling around and to think differently. And so there was definitely judgment in that. And that was actually not dealing with what was going on, what was actually going on. And so I think that um, there's benefit in accepting what is actually going on. I think you have to be able to do that before you can go forward and do all the other things I was talking about before you do manifestation or positive thinking or any of that. You have to be able to accept. And I'm still working on that. That is still a work in progress because I think the society doesn't want us to do that. We tend to label people and we do want them to isolate because nobody knows what to do. Nobody knows what to say. And um, I realized that just none of that stuff was helping me very much. Uh, I see huge benefits. I think you should manifest. I think you should do. I think you should be able to think positively. I think you should be able to do all that. But I also think there has to be some steps that happen before that. Um, the first step, the first step is acceptance. Now, I'm sure you've heard that a ton, right? It's said everywhere all the time. But what does that actually look like to accept something, to accept the hardships in your life, to accept the negative things? What does that act and the positive things, all the things? I think that is being able to allow yourself to feel. So if that means journaling or walking, getting that bilateral movement so that you can feel it in your body. The workout witch is really good too. Um, it's being able to recognize that you do actually like have feelings about things that that things don't just come by and then they go by you without anything happening. Of course, that's going to affect you. You're a human. And so being able to recognize, oh yeah, that this is how I feel. I don't this didn't feel great. So where am I feeling this in my body? And being able to like label that feeling and label like what it is and actually like listen to it for a second. And so that means taking time. We are not numbing out. We are not distracting yourself, but like actually allowing yourself to feel. I mean, I just feel like that is something that we don't do and it's just not accepted because that means taking time and that means taking time and what we automatically go to, oh my gosh, we're such victims, right? That's such a victim mentality to like allow yourself to feel negative feelings and to feel bad. No, that is not being a victim. That's actually being strong. It's actually being strong and accepting things for what they are. That doesn't mean it's forever. That just means for at that moment. Um, the next thing I would suggest, instead of numbing out, is to talk to people that you care about. I mean, the first thing that goes in my head if something bad has happened and it's something that I feel like a lot of emotion about, I go, I can't talk to these people. They've got too much on their plate. It's just too much. Like I can't burden them with this. Like and then I would isolate and then I'd be by myself and then I wouldn't talk to anybody and then the feelings would get worse and worse and worse and I would just sit there and go nope, 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 I have to deal with this on my own. I am independent. I'm not going to let anyone take that from me. I'm going to be so low maintenance they don't even know what to do, right? But no, I wasn't connecting to people and I wasn't being vulnerable with people and I wasn't letting them getting to know me and like what's actually going on. And because when you do that, when you connect to people, they actually connect with you. I've just been doing this experiment for a little while now and putting myself out there with my friends and with people in my life who I know are busy, who have their own things going on, and putting myself out there a lot more. And I'm noticing that they're able to let me in on it's not such like the picture perfect thing that we always see, that I'm actually like getting to know what's actually going on a little bit more. I find that very interesting, but I think that connecting is really important. So that moment you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much to handle. I can't be around people. I can't burden people with this. I challenge you to go and immediately call someone, talk to them, and tell them about this. And, it doesn't make you negative. Gosh, it bothers me so much when this society, they don't, it's like, we are not allowed to be real at all. We only can be positive. We are only worthy when we're positive. We are only worthy when everything is okay. And that is not life. It's not life. It's not real. Now, I do think that there is a problem with like brooding and getting stuck in stuff, right? But and I haven't quite I will say for that, I haven't quite learned what is the right amount of time to allow the feelings to come in. I think that distraction is not good though. So regardless of how long something might be bothering you or whatever thing, not to distract yourself from it. Um, but don't isolate. Don't isolate. I think the third thing that needs to happen when tough things are going on is that we have to be able to channel this energy, right? Channel, I mean, big big emotions need to be able to go somewhere, right? They can't just stay stagnant. Yes, you accept them, you see them, you label them, but then you can do something with that. And that is finding some levity, like I'm such a huge kid. Like I love to go and like I'd play in a playground if I could, like go play hide and go seek. I mean, just playing games and going and enjoying a day of levity and or being creative, go write something or uh go play sports or I mean, there's just so many different things, but I think channeling that energy that because there's something to be said about like the fact that you're actually feeling that can like remind you of who you are and what you like and what you don't like. And there's just like this beauty about it. It might be a little bit tragic, but it's still like this beauty of like, oh yeah, that's why I'm alive. This is what I value. My therapist was talking all about this week about when we make decisions, making decisions out of our values versus out of our emotions. So again, not letting the emotions like take over and brood and like spend all of our time, in our emotions, but like but also not distracting from it either though, but remembering what we're about. What do we value? And then being able to make decisions through that and do things with our values. So I like that. And then the last step, again, there are many more steps. I'm just saying the last step for today with you right now, talking to you. And that is acceptance again, because I think that acceptance is like the hardest of all of the steps. I think society has taught us that we are not allowed to be negative. We are not allowed to be that we're a victim if we're allowing ourselves to feel our feelings. I think, but another part of this is that maybe acceptance means that certain things that happen and certain feelings that we have might not ever go away. They might always be there. And being able to accept that we can have more than one emotion and more than one thought and more than one, thing at a time. And that doesn't mean that we can't be happy and sad at the same time. So I think that there is this acceptance thing that I think is really, really important. And it's something that I'm still working on. And I would love to be able to master that at some point. That would be really cool. I think that would be like such a superpower. And like, then it's like, world, come on, I can do anything. I think that would be really, really cool. So Yeah, I mean, maybe just accepting that certain things might always live with you, and that's okay. Not having judgment about it, not shaming yourself, not isolating and like not thinking you're worthy to be around people because of that, or to think that there's something wrong with you, or to think that you're the this lifelong victim. No, no. Two truths can exist at the same time. You can be sad and be happy. So, how do we relate this back to the music world? Since I'm a musician, this is a music school. I will say this. I think overall, us musicians, we are a sensitive bunch, right? Some of us would like to pretend like we're not, but you can't literally put the meaning of life into sound and not be sensitive. Like you can literally like, and to be able to like have the dynamics and the beautiful stylings and just like the emotion, that you cannot be a musician and not feel, be sensitive. So I think our tendency sometimes as musicians is to brush it all off, like, no, I got this, and to put the persona on, and like we're good, and to isolate ourselves because I mean, our job, a lot of it is isolation in the practice room by ourselves. Uh, to not isolate even more, right? To talk to other people. And I think that I've talked about this a lot in other videos, but we tend to be undervalued and devalued in this society for what we do. People don't realize how much education, how much learning has to take place, and so not trying to devalue ourselves, not trying to put our needs last. Right? My teachers this week, I was reminding them how important they are in this community. I think, especially this time when kids are getting restless. That weather is beautiful. I see on the deck out here, and they want to be outside. They want to do other things, so they're not practicing as much. They're not engaged as much. And I am generalizing, or not everybody's like that, but I'm saying that for the most part, that's how it's been. And we get it's not sometimes it's a thankless job. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing, right? And I just want musicians to remember how important you are in this world, how important you are to this life. God, can you imagine a world without music? Can you imagine? I just can't. I wouldn't be able to survive in that kind of world. I just wouldn't. And it is not easy to do music, and not everybody can just do it, right? I mean, you are so important. I hope you know that. And so, not putting your needs last, advocating for yourself, and not brushing things off and trying to be stoic, and then not, and then connect to each other, can reach out. Those are some things you can do. Times are tough right now. And I don't know if you agree with me. I mean, there are also very good things going on too, but I like to kind of get the pulse of what's going on around me. And I think times are tough. And I think when we can admit that like times are not always going to be easy, and not feel bad about doing so, I think it's huge. All right. On that note, I will see you soon. Have a wonderful weekend.